Well, hey, sports fans. It's me, Pacific. So, news article today talking about how Facebook is being very Orwellian. And anybody who corrects Biden, remember they came out the other day and said that we're having a recession. Did you hear CNN, ABC, NBC, CBS, MSNBC, PBS, NPR? Well, we're not in a recession. These are the same guys when you ask them how you're doing, they say, I'm doing well. I mean, they're fakes and they're flakes. The spin cycle is so ridiculous that the only people that seem to see it are the ones that still have a brain in their head and actually use it. I can get more reliable content out of the National Enquirer than I can from CNN. Why do they censor? Why do they splice, edit, and cut? Taint no mystery. Want to have a good totalitarian history. The Democrats tell me socialism is great. But all these liberal leaders, well, they're eating steak. Animal Farm is a book I read in high school. The actual human owners of the farm die, and the pigs get together and said, you know, we're all going to be sold and butchered, and if we keep running the farm and there's no hiccups in the system, they'll leave us alone. Animal Farm is a kid-style book explaining how the Russian and communistic and that way works. One of the things you have to realize with Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Google, and other sites out there, and the media in the United States, Sky News Australia is obviously out of down under, and they are more accurate at reporting what is going on in America than any of the three major networks that my age we all grew up with, trusting to be respected news establishments. And that was then, this is now. Now you have toddler-style runaway journalism that lies and immaturity reigns and fact-checking and credibility. Do you remember who came up with the term fact-check? Does anybody need a refresher in that? That'd be Hillary Clinton. The liar of liars, the chiefest of liars. And when you put the fox in charge of the hen house, of course the fox is going to tell you everything's just fine. When you put Democrats in charge of fact-checking sites like Snopes and Wiki and, Picky and all these other sites, guess what? They can censor that too and funnel in what they want you to believe. Why is Zuckerberg, who's filthy rich, what does he stand to gain by protecting Biden and the left? What is in it for him? Who knows? Maybe the same thing that's in it for Biden when his son called him the big guy. The FBI is not going to come up with any guilty conclusion. Our system has been permeated with the yeast of liberalism that has spread and risen throughout the whole country. That's why the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, that's why they wanted people like Ruth Bader Ginsburg. People celebrated her as a hero when she died, and I said, no. If a face can tell the story, RBG was not a happy woman. RBG did not show that she was having any kind of body language that showed a joyful, God-fearing countenance. She promoted abortion. She promoted a lot of things that God stands against. But why are these big, giant, corporate, gobbling upper... Facebook destroyed MySpace. It's still there, I was told. They crushed Friendster. And it's blue and white, just like your local Walmart, and it is the Walmart of the internet. Everybody shops there, everybody goes there. Thailand, Vietnam, the Philippines, Asia, everybody's on Facebook. It has been stated that Zuckerberg was paid by the CIA because they realized they could spy on Americans through this thing very well. The IRS uses Facebook to catch tax evaders when they start posting their yachts, boats, and houses, and they start going, okay, they're buying all this, where's their taxes for the year? Well, the company that makes this thing right here, this Apple phone, they're corrupt as well. All these guys are all in cahoots with the one world socialist agenda. And how do these things work? You notice when something is not about freedom, not about democracy, not about transparency, ethics, or legalities, they create fear. They want to censor you. I've said this for years now. The Republicans have shown themselves to be pansies. Democrats and uptight people riot in the streets, burn things down. They're not afraid to yell and scream. Nancy Pelosi, like a toddler, rips up a copy of the State of the Union address. Maxine Waters looks like she got hit by a train, is yelling in her face contorted, "Go and confront them in the streets!" Calling for upheaval. And the Republicans, led by old Colonel Mitch McConnell, our Republican Party's failing. We're not getting young blood in there. We're not rocking the boat, baby, and we're not rocking the world. And this is what America does. 4 years of a bad Democrat, we swing back to conservatism, and then we swing back to liberalism, and it's constant pendulum. Tick, tock. When you speak the truth, you're going to get in trouble. We taught kids back in my day and age, you don't lie. Lying gets you nowhere. Unless you're a Democrat. Look at what the Democrats did with Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. How many teen girls did they mess with sexually? And it's funny when you see Zuckerberg and all them fact-checking everything. They got me on something. This is not factual, so they removed it. Excuse me, since when do you have the right, when I post something that somebody else posted and it's an opinion piece or me just shining the light on something, you feel the need to remove it? Remember years ago we had terms like, we don't need the thought police. When I was a kid, I never liked we don't need no education. I wasn't a Pink Floyd fan. Today, nearing 60 years old, I love that song. We do not need no education. We don't need no thoughts control. Hey, liberal teachers and media, leave those kids alone. If you're not going to finish it, you won't have any pudding. That's legendary. You're not going to get your pudding. You notice the feminists? They're really happy and joyful. They make you really want to join their bandwagon, right? Look at every Democrat female out there. She has more substance in her breast than she does in her brain. Every time she opens her mouth, you think her head's going to fall off on the Wobble Bobble doll. And the only song that comes to mind with her is, I talked with the bartender. Oh yeah. Ding dong. You look at all of these people on the liberal left. They're joyless. Their countenance is one of anger. Every feminist female I've met is an uptight woman. Look at the mayor of Chicago. Lightfoot, a complete mess, has done nothing to solve the crime in Chicago. Nothing. And people voted her in. Nancy Pelosi has done nothing. Kamala Harris has done nothing. We don't need no education. We don't need no thought control. No dark sarcasm in the classroom. Teacher, leave them kids alone. Hey teacher, leave them kids alone. All in all, it's just another brick in the wall. If you don't eat your meat, you can't have any pudding. How can you have any pudding if you don't eat your meat? You, yes, you behind the bike sheds. Stand still, laddie. Let me open up your brains and pour in the porridge. You know, it's funny, music speaks. Don Henley's song Dirty Laundry is legendary. Love it. The bubble-headed bleach blonde comes on at 5. She can tell you about the plane crash with a gleam in her eye. It's interesting when people die, give us dirty laundry. So we can get this. I make my living off the evening news. Just give me something I can use. People love it when you lose. They love dirty laundry. Do you know how much these media clowns are making? Reporters, journalists for the big networks. And if you really want to get into some, controversy, ask how many conservative Republicans or Christian people get hired at those desk positions in those news agencies. They're guilty of some of the most blatant discrimination out there. Well, I could have been an actor, but I wound up here. I just have to look good. I don't have to be clear. Come and whisper in my ear. Give us dirty laundry. Kick them when they're up. Kick them when they're down. Kick them when they're up. Kick them when they're down. Kick them all around. We got the bubble-headed bleach blonde, comes on at 5. She tell you about the plane crash with a gleam in her eye. It's interesting when people die, give us dirty laundry. Can we film the operation? Is the head dead yet? You know the boys in the newsroom's got a running bet. Get the widow on the set. We need dirty laundry. We don't need to find out what's going on. You don't really want to know just how far it's gone. Just leave well enough alone, eat your dirty laundry. Kick them when they're up, kick them when they're down, blah, blah, blah. Dirty little secrets, dirty little lies. We got our dirty little fingers in everybody's pie. We love to cut you down to size. We love dirty laundry. You know, if America doesn't get their collective head out of their ass, we're going to go down like the Titanic. And if Republicans don't get bolder, stop being mousy, wussy, and pussy, we're never going to win. People say we're going to take the midterms. I'm going to tell you again, this party's corrupt. You think they're going to let that happen? Why is Facebook so aggressive at censoring the truth? Why did they come after me? I've had no violations. But you know what? When you have an entity like that, as I said in my video this morning, that does not submit to the community standards of the U.S. justice system, that's fact. When big corporation can circumvent the rights that is afforded to all of us Americans and yet have their headquarters right here and get away with that, and something's rotten in, well, not Denmark, but California. It's funny how the Democrats like to pretend that they're so moral and upright. We don't want sexuality or nudity on there. Oh, well, it's all over Facebook. Have you looked? But you defend candidates that defend. Did you hear one Democrat candidate stand up and say we need to prosecute? Did you hear them stand up saying we need to find out who these politicians that were involved with Mr. Epstein? No, the Democrats don't want to do that because that would be a story. See, if the news media actually went back to doing what they used to do, investigative journalism without the bias, and they nailed Hunter Biden and nailed Daddy-O, instead they're on a witch hunt for Donald Trump, a witch hunt for January 6th. It's silly, isn't it? Donald Trump did not call for that stuff. But Maxine Waters publicly on national television called for people to get up in our faces at the gas station, the restaurants, and you saw that. Black guys walking into a restaurant with old people yelling, screaming, getting up in their face. You know, if white people were to go into a black soul food restaurant and start that, I wonder if they just sit by and let that happen. And I've learned as I've gotten older that one of the mistakes white people have made is by moving out of areas that blacks moved into. When Americans got scared of gangs, instead of standing up, united from one end of the block to the other and saying, not bringing your crap down here, keep it moving. Americans gave into fear and they do it all day long. The media is a joke. Overpaid adult toddlers. Women that are not that sexy. They all wear the same boring blasé outfits. They all got all that cleavage shoved up here. They all play that plastic little small talk. That's right, Mitch Jelmaker. You ever notice their names are weird and strange and they're not normal? The media, the liberal media, is a joke. People are tuning out. CNN is losing their numbers. But CNN continues to peddle the lies. Global warming! The CNN, did you ever do any investigation on the ice age and why it melted? No, you're not going to do that. Because that was going on long before aerosol deodorant and Freon in your air conditioner unit and exhaust from cars. The Democrat left has an agenda. And all these people pushing socialism are sitting in Starbucks drinking $5 coffee with their laptops and computers and expensive life and they're cheering on the left. Go figure. Ignorance is bliss, especially if you're a Democrat.